Hey friends, it's me. I'll move my mic just a little closer. I don't know why. I just am. The Ebony Otaku with a dog who's like, why are you talking to yourself? Like, we don't do this all day. That's how he's looking at me. The well rounded nerd. I'm obviously going to do some painting. I was trying to make sure the painting stuff was more visible versus just me. So, this is my mouth. I do need to go and grab my little canister here. I want to make sure that I'm demonstrating good practice, even though, on my own time, not gonna lie, she uses paper towel to empty her airbrush and stuff. I personally am not sensitive to odors or smells or fumes, but everyone's not in that boat, and we have a very well ventilated room here. But you can't see that on camera because you only see a bit of our painting space in my husband's office. So it occurred to me that even if it's not my personal practice, doesn't hurt for people to see what good practice looks like. Um, what these are for, if you didn't know, was so that you can empty your airbrush without fumes going into the air. The reason, whether one agrees or not, that I don't always use it is I like to see when my airbrush is clean, and it's easy to see if I'm spraying paper towel. That's it. And I'm lazy. So I'm going to take off my wedding ring. All is well in otaku land. I just do not want to get paint on my ring. And also, the gloves will rip. Somebody commented that they enjoyed seeing that I wear gloves. And yeah, always when I'm airbrushing, I wear gloves. Sometimes even when I'm doing brush painting, but always with airbrushing. Sometimes this can doesn't have a glove, but I'm using a lot of contrast today, and contrast get leaky. So I wanted to have that handy to me. So there's a couple of things I'm going to paint today. One is the new rulers that come in the Saturnine box. I kept wanting to say Saturnine. It is not Saturnine. But G-Dubs, thank you. As you can see, I've already primed it. But thank y'all for a not red ruler that's impossible to paint with semi-seeable red letters on it that disappear in the light. This one is customizable. It is gray plastic like everything else. But because of that, you can paint it. So I'm going to give it a base coat and then decide what I'm going to put into the numbers and the measurement ticks. I've got a lot of these fluoros that I love to use. So there's a good chance that I just paint this blackety black and then go on. I also, she loves a metallic moment. But in this case, I feel like I want to let the floros do the work. You know what I mean? So I'm going to think on that before I start spraying this. It's actually based in Procryl Black. We use the G-Dubs Rattle Can primers when we're doing, oh yeah, this is great. Man, G-Dubs, this is great. Have this out during a tournament? Absolutely. But like if you need the reboot or specific gold or red matte blood angels red, they have those in rattle can. So when I'm trying to go for those colors, I use the G-Dubs rattle can. I know it's the true color match. I have branched out on my G-Dubs figures into using more than Citadel paint. I've always used Pro Acryl and what's the other one that we like to use? AK. I personally, I like the Pro Curl primers the best. They give me the best results with my airbrushes. Not sponsored, just my preference. But when it comes to using different paints, I have branched out even on my G-Dubs, not always having to use specifically Citadel paint. But today is all Citadel. I'm going to just let you know because I have learned some things. Let me show you some of what I mean by I've learned. And so it's made me want to change my approach on some figures. So these two little planes that I'm about to show you, I painted for Aeronautica just over a year ago. Here's one. It's not terrible. It's not great. Um, but not terrible, right? It exists. Now, we started a new series. We do a combo RPG with the actual gameplay every week, and that's what I stream with the Lead Pursuit podcast, which is their stream. That's why I don't do it on my channel. I'm not going to steal somebody else's stream. It's rude. And plus, he's a friend. But I decided I wanted a second chance. My character's name is Pinka Lesk. If you know the reference, you're my people. But my life has a theme, and I wanted to paint her a new plane. This is completely airbrushed. Yeah, I know. These two painters are different people. Look at this. This is just, I don't know what I was doing here. Am I ashamed of it? No, because I didn't know what I was doing. But to see how far I've come in a year, I can't wait to see what I can do next year. So it's challenging me that if I'm not entirely happy with a paint job, it's okay to redo it. I first started retrying paint jobs when I had those 15 cacophony to paint, and they were resin cacophony. I already painted a set, and a friend of ours had a bunch. My husband did a trade with him, so I ended up with more cacophony. Two sets of them I blasted with the isopropyl and repainted because I wasn't happy with the paint. I just wasn't happy with the paint job. This is my Pinka character. You love the pink flight suit. You know you do. Look at her. She's great. She's great. Yes. Um, but I wasn't entirely happy with it, so I was the first time that I dunked some figures in the isopropyl, stripped them, scrubbed them, and redid them. And I was happy I did. I had a better result the second time around. I am working on my champions of Slaneesh. I'm working on two different types of models, and let me not lie to you about their names because I'm still army building. That's going to be a video I film rather soon. I tried building my army, and it turned out I didn't know what I was doing. So she's going to do it again. But right now, I'm working on my infractors. I think I called them iterators to somebody, and I don't know why. I'm working on infractors and tormentors, and they're really cool. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm inspired by the art in the book, but I also realize I'm not this level of painter yet. I mean, I have not opened my Fulgrim yet to paint him, because honestly, in 30K, I'm never gonna get to play my Demon Fulgrim. Guess where he's gonna get played? One page rolls. But the their level of craftsmanship is absolutely inspired. And my husband did remind me, they do this all day. And I was like, yes, so. um, I'm definitely not at this level, but I'm not at this level anymore either, which is kind of nice to see my progress. So I've done this first set of Champions of Slanesh, each set of them three times. My infractors, and my tormentors. Um, because I just wasn't happy with the paint job. I was trying to achieve certain looks and effects, and they just weren't happening. And I didn't know why. So a couple of things that I've done before I get into painting here was, one, I invested in a color wheel and learned how to read it. This is just a little color fidget. For this paint, I'm staying in the purple family. There won't be any pinks. I'm going to actually move this to cover up the pinks. And this tells me what colors work together. And when it comes to highlighting, when I move the top fidget, I'm sorry, no, the bottom, it will reveal to me, if I can make this work. There we go. When I'm trying to figure out those colors that would be good for like highlighting and stuff, come on. I gotta turn the fidget here. I can't do it away from my face. It's not gonna work. Flip this over here. There we go. My husband's computer is on behind me and it is messaging, messaging, messaging. And I'm like, it's not my computer, so I'm not going to turn it off. Their husband's out with his D&D group, and I am, and the son is playing Magic tonight, so I'm home. This is a good day for me to film videos when they're both gone. House is quiet. But yeah, it shows me the colors that are directly opposite on the color wheel, so they're good highlight colors, colors that support each other, and then when I'm doing accessories and stuff, what color family. I don't have good color theory. My husband does. I don't know how he got it. I have good technique, and even an ugly color I can make look decent. But that doesn't mean I know what color to put with it. Everyone doesn't get every talent, so this little guy was like $7. You know where I got it. It has helped me tremendously, and I just got it propped up in front of me here to remind me what I'm doing. Also, one of my viewers made a suggestion that if I was trying to get a really good purple, that instead of because I've based these a few different ways, and I'm always in black to start with. you know, they're black. But as I was building up the contrast, um, I was one doing too many layers of different colors, and I wasn't quite understanding how different colors and shades support others. And he has suggested, thank you so much. If I want my purple to look really good, my next after the primer, go in with a blue, then a white, then the purple. And I don't have to use the same purple overtone or even the same blue undertone on every part of the armor. That's what's going to give me a contrast. I don't know what happened, but the word contrast all of a sudden made sense. Like, oh, the contrast is that the colors are not all flat. So that's what I'm going to try today. And I'm going to start with the base blues. Um, so some things are going to get based in this new color I picked up. Okay, say this right. Celestium blue. I can say that. That's a word. Celestium blue. And then some of them, where are we? Not the purples. Some parts are going to get based first in azurman blue. After I get the blues done and they're nice and they're drying, I'm then going to go in with apothecary white. All of these are going to have to be shaken. I've got my little tumbler right next to me. And then finally, the different parts of their armor, like the pauldrons will be a certain purple, their leg pieces might get a different purple, the arms might get a different purple. But I have Phoenician purple, I have Luxion purple, and then I also have Dreadful Visage. So that's more of a face color. And I've got a couple of these guys that have um, open helms. And so I'm thinking Dreadful Visage will help there. My airbrush control is getting really good as well. So I'm hoping that I don't do too much overspray. So the question now becomes which airbrush? Not this one. It is way too powerful. I was using that one to prime. That's one of my Badger airbrushes. Again, not sponsored. It's just what I use. I want to use my little Badger, actually. It's not super powerful, but it sprays real even. I'm going to open it up real quick to make sure I gave it a thorough clean. Last time I used it, like took the whole thing apart. I've learned to not have to take them apart too often anymore. And the cool thing about these contrasts is they flow. So I'm not as worried about getting gunk and stuff in here. So yeah, it looks real clean. But this one has a more narrow spray field is one of the reasons I want to use it. That piece here that's not cooperating. I must not have put it back on correctly. Which happens. Da, da, da. Come on. Don't be a jerk. It's just part of it. Why don't you just skip this part? Real-time hobbying. Okay? Nothing ever is 100%. This one, I like my larger Badger a little bit more than the small one. This is the Sotar, I think it says on the side. I said Sotar, not Sammy. He's looking at me like, why am I part of this? Come on. Got it. And off. All right. Pulled my needle out. Didn't mean to. But this piece here is not tightened the way it's supposed to be. There we go. All right. So what I want to do is get that needle centered perfectly when I put it back in. This one does the flow management a little bit different than my other airbrushes, but it has such a gentle flow and it doesn't everywhere, and that's why I want it for this application. So what I've learned is I need different airbrushes for different applications, but it's taken me 3 years almost to collect this many airbrushes. No, two. I've only been married to my husband for, let me not be a fibber. We've only been married for 2 years in May, this past May. We've been together for 3 years. Yeah, we did. Hey, at our age, when you get north of a certain age, you know. Oh yeah, that's perfect now. I like it. I'm narrowing the spray, and now I'm going to grab my water. Now this is just water, so I am going to spray it out here, but I'm testing to see what my misting looks like, so that I can have the control that I want. The back of the glove. That's another reason you wear gloves. You use your hands as part of the palette. Okay, I think I'm happy with this. And not that tight. There we go. So the air down here is completely open. That's how you prevent like spidering. But now I'm just going to spray all the water through, make sure it empties out without a problem. Looks like it is. And then let's get the painting. Here, my air compressor. All right, yeah, this also is telling me the rate of flow, and this is really, really good. So I'm not going to waste paint. I have gotten better at understanding how much paint I need for what application. That's been a boon as well. So I'm going to start not with the purples, the blues. All right, I'm blue, dabu dee dabu die. So I'm going to start with the body, which is going to get the celestium blue. So let's go ahead and shake that up. If you don't have, it's not on the table because the table will go. So, what are you doing, Pookums? He is having a bath. He's bathing himself. All right, thoroughly shaken, not stirred. It's a brand new pot. Shh, ASMR. I'm so goofy. So now I'm gonna open this pot up. The other thing I really like is contrast, unless you're mixing them with like thinner or something. They're so thin that even if I don't use it all, I can just dump it back in the pot. I do have bottles that if I make a mixture so I can keep it if I want to think I might want to use it again. But oh, that's spraying beautifully. Okay, so third time on these guys. I'm not kidding. I've stripped them completely 3 times. Let's see if I can do something great this time. 45-degree angle. I'm going to pull back a little bit and open this up a little bit more. Yeah, because if I get too close, I'm not going to get any contrast. So I'll change tactic a little bit. I'm spraying at a 45-degree angle on purpose so that my highs and lows are well defined. I'm looking closely here to see if it's beading anywhere, and right now it's not. It's looking really nice. It's spraying really good. I'll open it up a little bit more. Make sure it's spraying full. There we go. That's what I want. Now, things like the guns and helms, I am going to have to come back and do some extra detail work on. That's fine. But the shading process using contrast also enables me to use a couple more colors, I have found out. Because contrast is just that thin. So that's one. Ah! I set him up here and then threw him on the ground. So there he goes. His brothers are going to start joining him. I like to line things up so I know when they're done with a particular layer so I can come back to the next one. 45 degrees is what I've learned. And if you end up having to do a repaint, don't feel bad about it. You're gonna learn. Now, eventually, you have to just let it go. But I will say that part of my, um, I guess, one thing I've had to learn, trying to say it the right way, is I really like color. So I have to learn when to stop. And that's what I've done with a lot of my figures is I have overpainted them and not even realized I've done it. I've just put too many details on. It's like, where does my eyeball get drawn to? And one thing, my husband talked to me as I was getting his advice on some different figures I was painting was do a little bit of your highlighting and detail at a time on one figure, see if you like it before you translate it to the rest. So I've actually started doing a lot of test figures. This is not clogged on me. You bet not. I'm over here singing your praises as the optimal airbrush. Oh, I'm out of paint. We're not going to talk bad about the airbrush. I use the paint. The other thing I've learned not to do is be scared of using paint. Like I was wasting paint, and you can't make an omelet without cracking the eggs. Is that the phrase? You're gonna have to crack some eggs to make the omelet. But I will say this is spraying very smooth. I'm not having any trouble with it being a part of the figure. Just a light underpinning of the blue in some spots. I want to make sure. This dark blue and black together, it's kind of hard to see that the paint made it, not gonna lie. But I can kind of feel that this is going to be the combination this time. The dog is knocked out like he's been at work all day. As an adult educator, one of the things I always reinforce to people, especially when you're learning something new or expanding your skills, is give yourself grace. It takes time to learn new things. It just does. Most of us are not going to be expert at our new whatever on the first try. If you are, good for you. Um, but that's not most of us. Most of us, it's going to take a little bit of time, some trial and or error. Like this is a guy who doesn't have a helm, so I'm trying not to spray his head if I can avoid it. Sorry, I gotta snort. It's fall, y'all. Sorry, the seasons change and well, actually, I don't have allergies, so that can't be it. I have started doing a lot more walking and running, and I'm greatly enjoying it. But even if you don't have allergies, there's just all kinds of stuff out there. And I live in farm country, so. But yeah, as you're learning these new techniques, new ways of painting, give yourself a little grace. It's okay if you're not perfect at it the first time. Pencils have erasers for a reason. Part of the reason I'm lining them up this way is so I know which is dry first to go to the next layer. Because that's one of the things I love about the contrast as well. These thin contrast layers will dry um, much faster than anything else. This is spotting a little bit. It feels like my brush has lost pressure. I don't know why. Let me check my hose connection. And let me check the compressor pressure. It's pressurized. Tight, tight. It's completely lost pressure. Let me see if there's any gunkiness. This is an O2 needle, I believe. And I know O5 is the way to go. But I do love this brush. And typically these contrast, not an issue. It has completely stopped spraying. I'm going to switch brushes and clean this one out. I said I didn't want to use this other one, but my little one, I really wanted you to work. We were all rooting for you. But I'm going to put this in here. No, there's no pressure at all coming out of my airbrush. Did my husband turn my air compressor off? No, air compressor's on. What just happened? It just stopped. Interesting. Real-time hobbying, folks. Well, we're doing fine. Nothing. Well, this didn't release like there was any air in it. Air compressor. It's definitely on. I'm going to attach it to an empty one. No air. There's no air. It's not the brush. There's no air coming out of my compressor. I can't clean this. Let me, something's happened to the air compressor. Well, this is a rotten kettle of fish. I was going to do greatness in this video. I have another video I want to record tonight, but still. I'm putting cleaner in here so that it doesn't get gunky while I figure this out. Good to know it's not the brush. Okay, Badger, I apologize. It's my compressor. It has definitely gone down in the PSIs. Just going to grab a brush that I can test the air with because, you know, I have 4. 5. There's one up there. Okay, we're good now. That one's spraying. Let's see if I can clean this brush out first. Oh. It clogged. I'm going to have to take it apart again. The little one gives me trouble. I don't know why it hates me. Because I love you. I do. I love you so much. Let's set it up here. Let's see if this bad boy, the big brother, this is the 5 mil. Okay, and I usually have to turn down the pressure on this one because it is a beast. Okay, well, it's the brush. You try to use your tools betray you. It's fine. I was spraying too close there. Like, whoa, that paint is pooling. I don't want pooling. One thing I do like about doing it this way, there's going to be great variance. Look at that. That's why you wear gloves. There's going to be a good amount of variance between the models. Oh my goodness. So here's the black one. And here's one that just has the first blue on it. It's subtle, but it's beautiful. Impressive. And I will again link in this video the video where I learned. I would link my husband, but he doesn't record YouTube. He's the one who started teaching me how to do this contrasting and layer building correctly. And then I just got curious enough to go find an instructor. I'm not an instructor. I mean, I am, but not for this. You want to learn Taekwondo? Come find me. You want to learn about telecommunications? Come find me. I got you covered. I'm not a paint teacher. You want to learn some English literature? I got you. To each their talents. Next one. 2 more. I'm going to have to toss this glove and do a new one. He is unhelmed, so I'm trying to avoid his face as much as I can. I know people who can paint a straight, small line with their airbrush. They annoy me. I'm joking. No, they're great. Chris, I'm coming for you. It's been nice having friends who are professional painters to give me tips on how to paint. I know so many great people who are in the industry and do this professionally, but that's by benefit of where I live, I think, too. Not too much, just enough. We're not trying to waste paint. I closed that and just painted myself. Oops. I have dinner cooking for the guys right now. I have steaks sous videing for the men's. I have a Cornish game hen in the oven for me. And for my garden, I'm going to make some fried green tomatoes. Now, this is coming off. That glove is dead. Let's clean this out. And then we're going to do color too. I'm backflow cleaning to get all the color off the needle. And this tends to work really well. I do have airbrush cleaner as well, but with the contrast, it's not as hard. So now we spray. I'm going to open it up all the way for cleaning in there. And I'm going to grab a tissue and make sure the inside of the cup is clear of the other color. Sometimes I have to take this to the sink in the kitchen and just like give it a good wash to make sure I don't have, you don't want flecks of other paints stuck in your airbrush because it'll clog it. I'm going to use that again. That's why it's there. Awesome. Let me test here to make sure it's truly clear. Should just be water. All right. Awesome. Let's go for the next one. And we're going to grab another glove. I'm going to keep my husband. I have my glove stash and his glove stash. My glove stash is out of reach. Oh, cold water. There's nothing better than cold water. Nothing. Can't be convinced. I have cold water. Joking. All right, so the first one I used was the Celestium Blue. So I'm going to let it hang out just on top of my little paint rack here. And I'm going to go back to the first one. And now we're going to go in with the Apothecary White. So the white is going on top of the blue and under the purple. So, tumbling. I haven't used this Apothecary White except a couple of times, so it needs a good tumble. Dog knocked out like he's been doing construction all day. Must be great. Ooh, I can smell my little Cornish hen. One of my viewers commented that he has a fried green tomato recipe I need to check out, which is actually what I'm going to use tonight when I cook for my family. Trying to have these guys ready for Work in Progress Wednesday tomorrow, which is why I'm painting them. It's a Tuesday night, so I can take them in for detailing. I want to get these two sets done. Then the next thing I'm going to do are my first Stompy robots. I have a Side Titan for Titanicus, and I've got my first Knight and his armatures. Yeah, right. And if I get good enough at these, there are some techniques I want to use. So here we go with the Apothecary White contrast. This is for my highest highs. That looks good. All right, going back to the first one. Here we go. Oh, even the white looks different with the blue underneath. How cool is that? Can't wait to see that dry and then put the purple layer on top. I'm trying to decide if I want to do Venetian purple or if I want to do Luxion purple. I think if they're Emperor's Children, I'm pretty sure I'm going to go with Venetian purple. And then some of my highlighting will be done in gold on the pauldrons and the legs. 45 degrees. I'm holding it back too to make sure there's no spotting. That's one thing I learned from my figures previously that I used the airbrush on. There was a lot of spotting, and it was because the airbrush was just too darn close to the model. And if it sputters a little bit, well, guess where it's going to sputter onto? Your model. So see, with doing it this way underneath, it's dark there. So there's contrast. The dark spots should say dark, the light spots should be light. And when you put contrast paint in layers, or you put it over a white layer or dark layer, it's going to change how that contrast reacts. So you'll get your darkest of purple and your lightest of purple. And I'm not trying to make them all match perfectly. That is some of the inspiration I'm taking from the the artwork in the set. Not I'm not trying to copy it, but that subtlety of, yeah, they all go together, but they're not all quite matching because chaos. you know, beautiful. I'm really enjoying this. I'm probably enjoying it way more than is normal, but the more I paint and the more I get to game, the more I love it. I'm glad I had the Apothecary White. That was not one I just recently purchased, um, because I just, for some reason, want to use all G-Dub's paints on my champions of Slaneesh. I have one more video to record. I'm going to finish the guy's dinner. And I'm going to take my dog for a long walk. He old boy. Him likes his old. He still likes his walks though. The vet said if he's walking and eating, he's fine. Like, yeah, he loves food. He knows he's going to get half my lunch every day. Ah, almost the perfect amount. I just emptied it. Ah, so proud of myself that I had the perfect amount of paint. A couple extra drops. That's it. Close. Put this up here with the paints I'm using. I think I'm going to have it this time with what I want for prep. And the key to be able to keep doing this and not have to wait a ton of time is the thin layers. That's one thing the video I'm going to link below um, was really good about instructing on was, don't make these paint layers super thick. One, you'll lose detail, but they'll also take forever to dry. If you do this well, you can knock out, yes, I spray unused paint back in the bottle. If you do it well, you can knock them out pretty quick. There we go. Spraying out paint now. Now I'll do a backflow cleaning. Didn't gunk up the hand too bad that time. We're about to go in with the purple here in a second. So while I'm cleaning, they're drying. Oh, my little cornichon smells amazing. These guys are so lucky. I love the cook. Backflow cleaning. This is another thing I love about the contrast. Brush stays perfectly clear. Like, look, it's already spraying clear water. Yep. And no buildup to worry about right now. And I'm not going to say that's a drawback of any paint. You just have to learn how different paints behave. Every paint's going to behave differently because of what it took to get the consistency needed for um, a particular type. Like I love Turbo Dork. It will gunk up your airbrush if you're not careful. Even if you are careful, it will probably still gunk up your airbrush. It doesn't bother me. That's just part of that medium. Whereas this is where magic should start happening. Phoenician purple. What am I doing? I have a tumbler. But the reason, like not just the Turbo Dork, but the Vallejo metallics as well, the pigments to get those metallics have to be in the suspension fluid, and it's not the paint that's gunking up your airbrush; it's the suspension fluid. If you're not using any kind of thinner or at least an O5 needle, you're going to have a lot of problems. I initially tried using Turbo Dork with the O2. I didn't even know I was doing that. That was dumb. That was the dumbest thing I've ever done. Don't recommend. Now that I use only an O5 needles. Um, my O2, I'm gonna have to put a different needle in that little one. The O2 just is not it. And I hate it. I love that little airbrush, but I'll order a new needle for it. It's fine. O2 needles, not for me. When it's not handling contrast, well, that's not a needle size I need to use. All right, Phoenician purple, last layer. This will be the least amount of paint I put on each model out of the airbrush, but also the most significant. Because this is where magic should start happening. That's splotching. There we go. You have to have the air pressure right as well to prevent it from splotching on you, so just be aware. Here we go. He's at the white layer. Let's see. Let's get that Phoenician purple on. I think I held this one a little bit too close, but that's okay. I'll look at him in a bit when he's dry. I'm gonna hold this one a little bit. The first one is all, it's like crepes and pancakes. The first one's a sacrifice to the gods. Let's hold this one further away. I'm gonna bring it into the spray. Yeah, I'm liking this better. That is exciting. And again, I'm getting a little overspray on the face, but because these layers are thin, I shouldn't lose face detail. I was losing details with my first attempts, and that was annoying me quite a bit. So that's why I want you to be able to see what they are, so I have to go back and redo it. Okay, Phoenician Purple, you're doing beautiful things. I'm loving it. I'm getting nice color variance and gradient. I'll make sure that side was good and covered. See, that one looks better. Next, I'm about to go film. By the time this comes out, this video will come out, but I'm about to go film after this my Fulgrim Apologetics video. I'm about to go act a complete fool in my office. It's going to be great. Which is another reason I need the guys to not be here so I can be as loud as I want to be. With these 3 layers of contrast, I now have a figure that's not solidly the same color all over. There are contrasts in the colors. There are highs and lows. There are darks. There are lights. The light's going to interact with different points of the model differently. I have learned so much as I've gotten more and more into tabletop gaming. Almost there. Is it raining? Yeah. Dog still needs a walk. So do I. My dog's walk isn't just about him, it's also about me. There we go. He's looking good. Next. I am really liking this. This is dropping a figure. It's fine. It didn't fall on anything that could hurt the figure, just on the table. Next. I can't wait to base these. I have an idea, but we'll see if I can execute it. Basing is probably my favorite part of modeling right now, is doing the bases. He was not wrong. Okay, viewer, with the painting suggestion. I should have gone and gotten your name so I could give you credit correctly. Because I've read your comment multiple times preparing for this. I know who you are. Comment below. So I can give you your flowers. Looking good. And that's my lighting. I've been really working hard to get the lights pointed in the right direction so you can see what I'm doing. She's an amateur and an operating party of one. I do not enlist the help of anyone else. The only other help I've gotten with my channel is the iconography. I did hire an artist. His name is Ryan, R-Y-N-E, Anderson Art. You can find him on Instagram. He's excellent. He did all of my iconography for my channel. I just dropped the nozzle. But I don't think it hit the ground. I think it's in my apron. Yes! Two more. Come on. Last two. Here we go. I'm really liking this Venetian purple. There we go. It's trying to solidify on me a little bit. There we go. Looking good. This is such a cleaner look than what I had before. So much better. Don't be afraid to use that eraser on that pencil. Don't be scared. Pencils have erasers for a reason. It's splotting on me a little bit. The Venetian purple is the thickest contrast I've used so far. I did not realize it was this thick. There we go. Got it. It's for the contrast paints. It's a little heavier than the other ones, but still fine. So I like the finish for sure. It's kind of fun when you're painting like this to see the progress of the paint. Like, come on, like that's the purple I was trying to get. And it just takes some color theory and layer building. I can't believe the difference. Yeah, this is glubbed up. I'm not going to save all this paint. You got to have a dump cut. Okay, so I'm going to go straight in with the cleaner this time and not just water. Ooh, no, we need to rinse this out some more. You got to have these little squirt bottles. They are lifesavers when declogging an airbrush. There we go. Because they can get in there and with the force of air really clear out your brush. Got it. That was a little bit of work. Water. Water. There we go. See, there's still purple coming out. I need it to be clear. Awesome. Got it. I'm going to do one more round of cleaner through it. Now here's where I have to show restraint. and that is the highlighting color, which of course is going to be gold. These are in Phoenix Purple. There must be gold friends. But gold doesn't need to go everywhere, otherwise the gold will lose its impact. So the question now becomes, what gets the airbrush gold treatment? Not necessarily, like my woo, there it goes. Also over here I've got art gold. I have Gehenna gold, which is my favorite gold to use. There will be some dry brushing, but now with the airbrush, what gets what gold? And this is where me and restraint need to learn how to be friends. So look at that beautiful purple. And on the color wheel, it's definitely telling me that the yellows, which is gold, are good complementary colors to the purples, obviously, because those are the colors of the Phoenician. So I'm mixing this up. I'm looking at the figure. I know where I'm going to not spray gold. So on their right pauldrons, they all have um, the symbol of Slaneesh, and some have the symbol of Fulgrim on there. I'm not going to spray those with gold because I'm gonna like dry brush those with gold, and leave the purple around it. The pauldron that has no gold on it, has no insignia, that will probably be the one I give a touch of gold to, making sure this is thoroughly mixed. Let's see how thick it is. I might have to put a little thinner in it. I don't want to because I really like these intense colors. Their jetpacks will probably get a and then I'm looking at just one or both of the legs, depending on the figure. Like this guy has a skull. I would rather dry brush that skull in purple and do this whole shin guard in gold. So, oh, this doesn't look too thick. I'm shaking it well. All right, so now I need to get a little bit more control over this airbrush. I don't need to spray as violently. Here we go. A little bit of detail work. All right. It's a little spidery. The first one's always the hardest. I'm going to cover the back of his legs with my finger so that just the jetpack gets this overspray. Cool. And then his little helm piece. Yeah, he's got like this little poof. So got that. Got a little gold on the little swoosh thing, but that's fine. Okay, so something I just learned, it's not so much about the closeness here, it's about the angles and just being very gentle with the spray. And I will get the coverage that I want. I'm thinking I might make their weapons gold. Again, I'm not trying to overdo it with the gold. I want the gold to have impact. And if I overdo it, then it won't have impact. Because I will probably come back to some of these people and take probably not the, maybe the Phoenician or even the Luxion purple to do a brush contrast, to bring the gold and purple areas together. But I'll see on that later. Don't spray too close. Here we go. Yeah, I'm definitely going to use a little contrast to bring it together, but the subtle gold is better than, I think, huge swaths of gold. I'm definitely becoming a better painter, and I'm very happy about it. I'm going to give a little gold dusting to their guns. I'm looking at them like, yeah, They are going to get some electric details to them with the some other paints that I've got, probably with green, yeah, green support. So I'm probably going to take, not probably, I am going to take the fluoros and like in the little divots in the guns, stick that down in there. Yeah, just a little extra bit of little flair. And I'm remembering that I will be coming back with some contrast. So if I have a little overspray, it's not that big a deal. And giving the impression of gold. I'm not going to put a contrast on these guns. Unless it's like Agrax. And I don't think I'm going to put a contrast on the bits that I shine up on these guys. I kind of like it this way. Let's look at the next one. I tell you what the revelation is, that you can move your figure when you paint. You don't always have to spray from the same direction. Yes, there will be overspray. You will have to go back and do a little fine brush correction, but the big pieces are done. And I can always come back, since Phoenician Air is my main purple, rather than doing a contrast, I might just come back with the Phoenician Air in spots. That way the color is consistent where there's overspray. I think I want their butts to be gold. That's what I've decided. Oh, his weapon. Forgot the weapon. Yeah, I'm going to come back with the main contrast for the cleanup. And I'll do that probably before I start work so it's dry by the time I go to the shops. I have to make his booty gold. I need to go record my magnum opus video. I tell you what, I'm about to act a whole fool in that Fulgrim video. It's going to be great. It's kind of stuff I love. See, now this one's got the detail on a different boot. So I'm actually going to do his whole shin, including his shoe in gold. Not just the guard. A little bit of contrast there. Fun. And I'm going to do this one as well, but I'm going to come back with that purple contrast to drop in there, and that's going to be fun. Cool. Awesome. Pauldron. Looking good. Backpack. Booty. Gun. This gun was easier because it was just sticking out there. Yeah, so both of his legs are gold. That looks good. Just giving it that look to make sure there's not something else I want to color on it. I know, they're looking great, aren't they? See, this one has two plain pauldrons, so I think they're both going to be gold. I want them to be cohesive this time, not just matchy-matchy. But you'd think those were the same thing. They're not. This one is very different on the boots. I think I'm going to do some hand detailing on these boots. But I'm going to toes to be gold. They'll have gold toes and gold heels. Because it would be like the champions of Slaneesh have gold heels on. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I want to come back with Airbrushing on these. I'm going to use my purple to fill in and keep that shininess that I've got. They're Emperor's children. They like to shine. That's what they do. See? Not bad. I've got some detail work to do, but that's something I can't do in a few hours. And because tomorrow's Work in Progress Wednesday, it will be dedicated time. Booty. Let's look at his boots. Oh, you know what? I'm going to spray both of these boots. Yeah, looks good. I love it when a plan comes together. It feels, dang, I look orange game hunt smell. It just hit like peak. Like it's been in the oven for about an hour now, and it's still got 90 minutes to go. But dang, it smells good. Before I take the dog out for his walk, I will do the sides for the guys' dinner and mine. I take the dog on walks after I eat. It's good to walk after you eat. I said the word and he rolled over. He's like, what? I'm like, no, not yet. Don't say the word if you're not doing it, because then they will feel betrayed. Booty. I'm going to do his boots the same way because it's the same boots. Detailing on these is going to be a lot of fun because I'm not trying to repaint the figure. Like if you were with me when I first started doing model painting on the channel, I mean, I was just doing every single detail one at a time by hand, and it was taking me forever, which that's not a wrong way to paint. It's not. But if you want to get faster and still produce quality, it's all in the techniques. And learning the techniques has been definitely worth it for me in terms of a time investment. Dropped him. Plop. You next. Man, that smells really good. Dang, she can cook. Cooking for people is one of my favorite things. And the gun. It's going to become fun to come back and do the details for these. I'll have to pack up my painting backpack tomorrow before I head out. Yeah. So there's something to be said for subtlety. Everything doesn't have to be bah. And I love color. Like I genuinely love color. It's funny, you wouldn't unless you knew me in high school. I was a goth kid in high school. Was very anti-pink. I'm not sure I was anti-pink or just fulfilling, angsty teen at the time. Cold water. It's delightful. But I hit a point in my life. I'm not going to do these legs. I'm going to do individual details on them. Where I just realized color is beautiful, and I love it. But for something to be celebrated, there has to be subtlety and nuance. Otherwise it's just loud. Not that things being loud are bad. Like I saw a home design reviewer. I watch a lot of design YouTube, home decor, because I'm in the middle of doing a bunch of stuff. So ideas, and how tos. But it's just he showed this person's apartment who had just, it looked like Lisa Frank came in there and moved in. And I'll be honest, for me, I was like, that's a dream. But he was like, ooh, it's overwhelming. If you were trying to make it appeal to someone else, yes. When it comes to painting, now that I'm getting down to the last one, I'm going to do airbrushing on. The thing I always try to remember, when you're building your armies, when you're painting, you have to remember that ultimately you have to like what you do. Yes, it is so much fun to be amongst our tabletop brethren and show all the cool things we've done. That is literally part of it, is the bragging. Look at my army. And we should build each other up and encourage each other. That's also part of the fun, is with our nerdy brothers and sisters, having that commonality, that common hobby that we all are enjoying together. But ultimately, whether it meets color theory, design theory, it's too bright or too little, you've got the technique, you don't. If you like it, if you're having fun, then you did it correctly. If it's not fun, then you're not doing it right. And maybe you need to find different people to hobby with, or perhaps it's time for a different hobby, and that's okay too. I'm going to keep my contrast that I used up here in case I want to come back to any of them. But I'm going to dump this. Ooh, over an hour. Just have to go get full on crazy for a little while. See if I can spray this. Spraying this back in the bottle. I don't like to waste paint if I can help it. I gave that whole diatribe about not feeling guilty for wasting paint. Now I'm like, no, save these 3 drops of paint. I'm going to clean this brush. I'm going to go film a Fulgrim video. Can't wait to see who, once this video comes out, someone would have won. I can tell you in this video, because it's coming out post Fulgrim, that the prize is going to be a custom print from me. That's what won my poll that I put out, and I appreciate everyone who participated in that, because I really didn't know if I should give away a piece of my collection first or something custom. But I'm going to be printing a really great dice tower, but not just like, I do have an AMS that will print multiple colors, but that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to paint it myself for you, and I'm going to landscape it completely. So it's going to be a fun project. I'm going to pay very careful attention to all the things that I do, so that my 5,000 subscriber challenge, comic contest, is as awesome as it can be. I'll wipe out the inside of this cup. This tissue is not completely used up, so I'm going to save it for a couple of days. And I'm actually, when I put this in the cradle, I'm going to put it in with some cleaner just sitting in it to dissolve some of this residue that's in here. I'm just going to leave that for a couple hours. There we go. Friends, this has been a great video. This glove is done. This glove I'm going to reuse because it's not completely done. I always put things back where they go. And as usual, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.